All right, this is for real estate developers and anybody raising capital. I'm going to be showing you the update of the DealPage build. This is a software tool that I'm working on and have been working on for multiple years that I originally created to replace the boring, stale PDF decks that I was getting, that I was working on for clients, with something more engaging that leveraged technology to capture investor interest and just have a better experience on the investor end, as well as on the user end or on the developer end of creating those materials and making sure that they were clean and sophisticated. I have had this V1 up for over a year now. The build that I'm referencing is the V2. So if you've been following, or you're a beta user, or you're an old user of DealPage, you probably know that I've been working on this. Today is the most recent update. So I'm just going to walk you through what I have from my developers so far. So the basic premise of DealPage is to make creating and sending investor materials, everything from decks to investor updates to our newest feature, which I'll show in a bit, the portfolio page, to your stakeholders, whether that's investors, partners, just people you meet, building out your network around your development business. So how does this work? I have my company's dashboard account pulled up here, and I have 4 of my 5 deals loaded into the system so far. If you're coming in as a new user and you're trying to add your old deals to get your portfolio set up, which I'll show you in a bit, or to add a new deal to go out and raise, what you would do is come here and you'd hit add deal, put in the name, image, etc. And you could either move to then create the deal page or the offering materials for that deal, or just go back to the dashboard. Now we have 2 ways of actually creating materials. There is the creation of those web page decks like the one I showed you. And then we also now have the ability to upload and send PDFs like DocSend. If you've ever received or used DocSend, it's just a way to gate your PDFs behind passcode and NDA and track the views. So that is now a part of the tool as well. I'll just show you for the editing or creation of the web page deck, we have our deal page, what we call a teaser page template. We've based this template off all the work that we've done on our decks and for our clients, the order of information that we know works best. We have a framework that we follow, incorporating some principles and maxims that we use, like macro to micro, and sort of moving from the broadest possible information to the most specific. So it's all backed by experience and going through real raises. And the goal is to trust in that framework and to move through and fill out each of these sections with the information that you want to put in there. The content, whether that's text or images or video, you move through one section at a time. This is our updated builder, and you create your page that way. On the PDF side, I'll just show you, I had that set up for this deal. You would be simply uploading a PDF, setting your settings on it, if you're going to require an email or not, if you're going to require a passcode, and then you would be sending that out. And again, the experience for the investor would be very similar to DocSend. They would receive, let's see, I've already logged in, so it may not work. Here we go. They would receive this screen, and then they would have to put in the passcode that you give them in the email or text you send, and then it's simply a PDF viewer. But for both the web page and the PDF option, you are then able to track the views on the back end. For the PDF, you get view count and their last viewed. For the web page investor memo, you also are going to be able to see percentage viewed and the amount of time they spent viewing the page. That is for capital raising. We then have investor updates. So this is very similar. You are still using a builder. You're going through section by section and putting in the content following, again, a very simple template that we've used for a while, an introduction, some details here, and then just going into highlights and into whatever text and image content you want to be sending. If you're sending monthly or quarterly updates, this makes it super easy to send out, super easy to create and stay consistent. That's one of my biggest problems. And then also tracking just at least gross view count here. And then the newest feature, one that I'm very excited about, is something I call portfolio page. So this was something that I had in mind for a while, but it wasn't until one of the earliest users of DealPage brought it up with me, where they were just explaining the very simple user story of having to always recreate or update a a PowerPoint, which is a pain in the ass to use, that they had set up that had all their company information and all their past deals that they would send around to if they met a new potential investor or a new potential partner, if investors looking at a current deal of theirs wanted to dig more into their track record and experience, just meeting somebody out for coffee and following up with them. And I had experienced that pain point too, and I knew it well. I always, even 2 days ago now, I was just out at coffee with two developers, a new one. It was a new meeting that I had with the other person. And we kind of got to this point where we all knew we had deals and we were kind of trying to describe what we do and what we were working on. And I actually pulled this up and showed them the progress we've made on this feature. And it's pretty simple at this stage. It's basically like a profile where you have your company. You can put in things like how many deals you have and your total deal value or assets under management. And then you can choose which deals you want to highlight in your portfolio. And they show up here on the page. I'll just show you the editor. For choosing your deals, you would simply click which ones you want in there or not. And then on the front end, if somebody's looking at your portfolio, they can sort of click into the deal, read about it, see some basic information that you choose, which information you want to show on each deal, and then upload some pictures. Nothing too complicated. You have your team section as well and just a little bit about the company. But for example, in that situation I was just in at the coffee shop, it was a perfect way to just show quickly all the things that I had done and what I have been working on. And so it's for situations like that, or like I said, just as diligence people are trying to run on you and your company. That's the update as of now for DealPage. We have the dashboard, the ability to host your deals here, create investor capital raising materials, whether that's sending a PDF or a web page deck. We have the updates, we have the portfolio. And one feature actually that I forgot about is the data room. So if you're raising money, you're often sending out emails with your deck first. People are looking at the deck, maybe they're scheduling a call. You get into more information on the call, and once you see that there's some real interest there, you might be more comfortable sharing things like your pro forma or some market studies that you have. And what I've done in the past was just send a bunch of files or send a Google Drive folder link. What I wanted to create here was just something that was a bit more professional looking and more organized. So this is a place on the back end where you can upload a file, name it, categorize it, choose if it's visible in the data room or not. You can always go back in and edit as well, or click this and it's no longer in the data room. So you can see that here we got one file. And then you can just send this link out to your investors, whoever's looking to take a peek at your data room. So that's it. I've over time added a bunch of features. I had notes, to-do list. I thought this was going to be the next Juniper Square. I had all these asset management and accounting features. But what DealPage has become, and what I'm very excited and happy about, is a simple to use tool. I've used Juniper Square, I've used InvestNext. They're all overcomplicated. If you're just trying to replace your materials, your PDFs, your ugly, painful PowerPoints with something easier to create on the back end, easier to manage, easier to send and track, and then better for the viewer, the investor, that's what DealPage is for across raising money, meeting new investors and partners, keeping your investors up to date. DealPage is the tool for that. Thank you for checking out the update, and I'll be out soon with more and hoping to get the first live version of this V2 out within the next 2 to 3 weeks.